I literally was just like on the brink of tears, and like I was shaking. It was so freaking cold. And then all I know is like 30 minutes of, again, me walking, just trying to become more familiar. I just was getting lost, more lost, and more lost, and more lost. More consistency is to be expected from Sierra Parker in 2025, being that I am marijuana free.
I killed them all before I let them kill my joy.
So yes, y'all, this is like my first little partnership of 2025, and I couldn't be more freaking excited considering that it's something that I truly believe in.
But understand, everybody ain't gonna like you.
Paris was medicine for me this go round. What's up, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. It is your girl Sierra here. And as you guys can see, I am back with my very first video of 2025. I also was just recently in Paris. And yeah, y'all, like such an eye-opening experience being in Paris this go round. And this was actually my third time going to Paris. And to be quite honest, I didn't know why I was going back this go round, but I felt so compelled to go. And I actually bought my ticket last September. And again, I didn't know why I was buying my ticket. I'm like, I've already been to Paris, but I just felt like this feeling in my gut, feeling in my body that was telling me go back to Paris. And literally my ticket, y'all, was $350 round freaking trip. So seeing that, it kind of solidified it for me. I was like, okay, I'm going back to Paris then. I would definitely say some of the highlights was being sober for the whole 7 days that I was there. Sober from marijuana, I want to say, because I definitely did have me a little glass of wine. But I'm not big on drinking, but weed has just been such a deteriorating factor for me. I think that makes sense. Like it's, yeah, I feel like it's literally been killing me. It's literally been keeping me from opportunities. It's literally been making me feel like everyone is against me, giving me such anxiety. And yeah, I say all that to say that being there 7 days, no weed, I just feel like I had such clarity. I feel like I have even more clarity now that I'm on like 10 days with no weed. And yeah, please comment down below if you kind of feel me or if you've been through a similar experience, or if you've been off weed for even longer than I have. How do you feel now at whatever place that you're in? But for me, the main thing that I've been experiencing is clarity. And I will say, like, some people relationship with marijuana is different, because I do know people who are able to like function and thrive off of weed, and sometimes become more creative even when they smoke marijuana. But for me, I just feel like in my personality, I have such a lively just personality already, to the point where weed was literally just putting a water hose on my fire basically. And yeah, I say that to say, like, I am just really ready to be more consistent in 2025. I'm excited to actually do content again. And yeah, I'm just so happy that I'm in this space. Besides that, and besides shopping, which we're definitely going to get into obviously in this video, but I would say another experience that I had that stands out for me in Paris was like being lost. I went to the Pompidou Museum, and after that, I think I went to a little restaurant, and then my phone was on like 5%. I noticed. I was like, oh my gosh. And I didn't bring a portable charger, which that's my fault. But however, I was like, I know how to get to my Airbnb when I get off the train. However, I must have typed in the wrong zip code or something for my address, because definitely the address was right, but the zip code was wrong. So I get off the train, y'all, and I started walking like maybe my Airbnb is straight. I'm pretty sure it was straight. Anyway, I'm walking for a good 10 minutes, and all I know is I can hear a penny drop. It was so quiet. It was like midnight, and I was staying on the outskirts of Paris. So I was staying in this town called Alfortville, and I think where I was called Alfort, I want to say. And yeah, I didn't see a human for a good like like I said, 10-15 minutes walking. And the first human I did see did not speak any English, okay? So I'm literally like trying to signal to them like charger, coffee shop, and they're like, everything is closed. Like, I think that's the only little English that they could kind of get out to me. And after they said that, they walked away from me. So I literally was just like on the brink of tears, and like I was shaking. It was so freaking cold. And then all I know is like 30 minutes of, again, me walking, just trying to become more familiar. I just was getting lost, more lost, and more lost, and more lost. And so lost to the point was I didn't even know how to get back to the train. So I had a dead phone, didn't know where I was. I literally was like, okay, this is it. Like, I'm gonna die. But I will say, I feel like being from Chicago, growing up how I grew up, I'm very resourceful. So I was like, no, I'm not gonna give up. And I literally feel like it was an angel. This 16-year-old boy came up, was walking down the street, and he spoke a little bit of English. Anyway, I was like, yo, I'm lost, from America, phone dead, like, can you please help me? And he ended up calling his dad, and his dad explained to his dad that I was lost and I needed to charge my phone. And long story short, they welcomed me into their house, y'all. Literally was like, would you like wine? Would you like food? Would you like to play the game that we're playing? Even when my phone charged, like, they waited outside with me while my Uber came. I was trying to give them like 20 euros that I had in my pocket, and they was like, absolutely not. Like, no, we will not accept any money from you. So yeah, that was definitely like a standout experience for me. And also, like, going to a club in Paris. I am not a clubber, but I was like, whatever, I'm in Paris. And my friend told me about this club called Wax. And these two 21-year-olds, they saw me just like looking around with my little drink, and they were like, are you here alone? I was like, yes. And it was like, you want to dance with us? And we were literally just like dancing like little sim characters in a club. And again, just a lovely experience to just be embraced. That's what I felt too in Paris, just like an embracing. And I felt like I needed that love. Although it was from strangers, like, I just felt like I needed it. Yeah, I say all this to say, y'all, I felt like Paris was medicine for me this go round. So as you can tell by the title, your girl definitely did some shopping in Paris. But before we get into that, I do quickly want to talk about this recent affiliate or like partnership that I have with this website called Form. And it's so crazy. The founder reached out to me while I was actually in Paris, and I was like, what is Form? Like, I'm surprised I had never even heard of her, considering like everything that they're about. But yeah, Form is a website that sells like archived clothing. So you can get like secondhand comb, secondhand Helmut Lang, secondhand Izemiyake, and it's like really, really good pieces, like really curated. And what caught my eye was like, wait, not only do they have like a pretty good selection, but it's like not super expensive. Because I feel like people definitely be trying to like up the price when it comes to like old Helmut Lang or old Margiela. And it's like, yes, I get it. Like, you can't get these pieces anymore. But sometimes they just be like, but it got a stain on it. But it's like not in the best of condition. So I feel like Form is a place where they are a little bit more practical about the prices of these secondhand pieces. And also, Form is a place too where you can like learn about fashion. They just highlighted this artist, Robert Mapplethorpe, who I was just like, wow, I am so obsessed with his work. He specializes in doing like black and white photos and like sometimes provocative photos. And he also like collaborated with Raf Simons in I think 2017. This is like information that I feel like I would have never have known had it not been for this website. And they're like highlighting it. And I think that if you are an admirer of fashion and art, then you really appreciate a site like this, or just like fashion knowledge. And you guys definitely know that that's what I'm about. Like, I never get on here and just be like, oh yeah, I got these Balenciagas, or oh yeah, I got these Margielas. Like, I'm telling you guys why I got it. I'm telling you a little bit of the back history, because I feel like that's important to note as well, because otherwise you just buying expensive things just for the flex of it. And to each his own, but over here on the Sierra Parker channel, I am definitely about like the background knowledge when it comes to these designers. Because personally, I never want to put something on my back whereas I don't know about the artist or I don't know about the designer. Also too, with Form, which I really love, is they offer like fashion videos and documentaries that a lot of times you be having to pay for these documentaries elsewhere. They actually just posted a John Galliano like documentary, which I cannot wait to watch later on. The Yves Saint Laurent like documentary on here you can watch. So again, if you are an admirer of fashion, I feel like Form is definitely something that you should be subscribed to. I've definitely subscribed. So you can sign up and the first month is actually free, but after the first month, it's like $8 a month. And then you have access to all of these like documentaries and like fashion films. So I think that that Form is a really cool concept. I think that it's definitely going to get bigger and bigger the more, you know, time goes on. And I'm just so happy that they selected me to, you know, partner with. And right now we're in like, obviously they're in the beginning phase. So I even like the transparency where they're like, our partnership will eventually like evolve, but right now, you know, I think that they're happy and I'm happy that we just align like our ethos. So yes, y'all, this is like my first little partnership of 2025, and I couldn't be more freaking excited considering that it's something that I truly believe in. And also too, definitely check out their archive. Like I said, I cannot believe the prices. And I actually just bought a top off of there already. This little Comme des Garçons top is 100% wool, and I love like the little lace detailing on it. But yeah, it was like $50 for this, like a freaking 2015 Comme des Garçons shirt. So I'm definitely gonna leave my little links down below in case you guys want to sign up or just like buy anything. Please use my little links. But yeah, super excited to be partnering with them. Now, without further ado, let's hop into my newest pickups. Now, before I went to Paris, y'all, I was definitely doing a little bit of shopping at my workplace, and mainly because the deals have been dealing. I feel like the world is coming to an end, low key, so get yourself together, okay? Get out your dreams, get out your passions, because I can tell just by how cheap things is, something's going on, okay? I don't know what it is. Yeah, I was definitely doing a little bit of shopping before I went to Paris, and I feel like I've now realized that I am a person that I love clothes so much on like such a deep level, to the point where I can't leave a Drees piece from a Drees era, you know? Like I have to get it. So, especially if it's at a certain price point. And I say that to say, we're gonna get into all the things that I got pre-Paris, and then I'm gonna get into the things that I got in Paris. So the first piece that I got is going to be this beautiful Dries Van Noten skirt from his fall 2024 collection. And yeah, I think Drees left like this past June, and he has since passed it off to someone who has been working with him for I think like 6 years, since like 2018. And I forget his name, but I'm gonna insert his photo here. But yeah, I'm happy that he actually passed the reign down to someone who kind of understands obviously the ethos of Drees, and also, you know, maybe his artistic direction, considering that he's worked under him for so long. But yeah, my little skirt is from Drees era, and it spoke to me mainly due to like the print on the front of it. I actually used to call it like the Rothko skirt or the Rothko dress, because he also did this front print. He did it also in like a dress. And I would always tell people that was like looking at Drees, or like my clients, like, oh, this is like the Rothko dress, because it definitely reminds me of like a Rothko painting. But yeah, I am so obsessed with this piece. I mainly got it because I was like, it's gonna be a vibe obviously in the summer, but it's so special, and I feel like I might wear it on my birthday. Birthday's in July. And with this collection, some quotes that stuck out to me when it came down to like the notes: the woman who dares to cut her own fringe. And I think Drees was quoted saying with this collection, it was mostly about style and not so much fashion. And he wanted every piece to stand out on its own. And the one rule he had for this collection was to break the rules. And definitely like looking at the photos, looking at the runway, each piece I feel like stands out on its own. But obviously Drees is probably one of the only designers that can really do this. It's like pairing so many statement pieces together, but it's still just being such a look so good, and just like resonates. Personally, I feel like I cannot wear too many statements in one look, because I feel like then it's like competing and it just looks bad. So the fact that he was able to put all these statements together and it still work, I feel like only a genius can do. So I am so appreciative that I have my one little statement, which is this little skirt here from that collection. And actually, I don't think you can find this skirt on the runway, or even this print on the runway. I think this print, like this like square, black and white square print, you saw on look 50, I want to say, but definitely you couldn't find this skirt. And obviously you're not going to see every piece in stores that you see on the runway. And I think I'm probably going to end up wearing it with just like a simple like little tank top. The shirt that you see in the video I'm gonna get into, but I had got that shirt to go with this skirt. I don't feel like the navy shirt really does what I wanted to do, so I probably will end up pairing it with something different. I don't know, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. But yes, this is my my most recent Drees purchase, and I'm obsessed with her. The next item I'm gonna get into is actually from Balenciaga's pre-fall 2024 show. And with this show, I think Demna ended up collaborating with a very expensive grocery store, Erewhon, which I think you can only find in California. But yeah, I was talking to somebody who told me that they got a bottle of water from Erewhon and it was $32. Like a regular, like, little liter. I mean, it was a glass bottle, but I'm like, that's insane. I think Balenciaga, they actually had made a drink with Erewhon and they had like black charcoal in it. So it was like a black drink that said Balenciaga. And I guess you can get it at Erewhon. So that was really cool and very just like SoCal of them. Because I think what I read from the notes was like, it's a thing for like Californians now to like walk around with their Erewhon smoothies, $50 smoothies. I do know too with Californians, they are really big on like exercise attire. So you saw like a lot of like leggings and like sportswear with this collection. But anyway, when I saw the big chunky sneakers, and granted, Balenciaga have been making these chunky sneakers, like I think in previous collections, but it was something about this one. I was like, wait, this one is even more massive, even more comical. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I love how skinny their legs are with this big chunky freaking shoe. Again, it's just like so funny to just the concept. It's just so goofy looking. And where I work, the Balenciaga team, they actually came to like tell us a little bit about that collection. And I was like, dang, I want these shoes. But if you are new to the Sierra Parker channel, then you should know or would know that I do not buy designer for full price. I just refuse. I can't justify it. I feel like even when I get to a place of like financial freedom, I still would be super selective with my buys. Because I always say that just fashion is frivolous. Like it's so much more I can be buying. I can save for a house, you know? So it's like, I feel bad buying a $1,300 pair of sneakers. You know what I'm saying? So I said that to say, I was like, man, I hope I can get these sneakers. And look at the universe working in my favor because I got them for under $300, okay? And I can say that because, again, anyone could have walked into the store that I worked at and bought these freaking shoes for that price. And unfortunately, I think they are full price right now. But it's crazy because I was actually talking to a lady who has had the sneakers when they first came out. And she spent the $1,300 or $1,100 on them. And she told me that she didn't regret it at all. Like, sis told me that she gets so much wear out of them. She wear with all her big, you know, wide pants and her big wide shorts. So I guess cost per wear, even at that price for her, was justifiable. But for me, I'm just like, it's not a shoe that I would wear all the time. I have so many shoes. So as much as I want to like wear a single pair of shoes for a week, I rarely would do that because it's like I have so many. So it's like I knew that I would wear them so much. But yeah, y'all, as you can see, they are really big and goofy looking. I think they are called the 10XL sneaker. And I will say, when it comes down to sizing, I size down 2 whole sizes. Usually I'm a 39 in sneakers. In my Margiela replicas, I take a size 39. So for reference, but with those, I got a size 37. I was like, that's crazy. I honestly feel like I probably could even done a size 36. But I do feel like with a sock and everything, it's still super comfortable, so I don't mind a 37. But yeah, if you are interested in this shoe, I would definitely not go true to size. You would be highly disappointed because they are as big as they look. So yeah, that is my recent Balenciaga pickup. Also too, with these shoes, what I noticed is when I'm on the train, I don't gotta hold on to no type of railing, baby. How wide they are literally creates such a balance for the body. So I can like literally just stand on the train while it's moving and I'm not moving. Another thing I love about them. All right, another pickup that I got before Paris is gonna be this Bottega Blink Mule. And I got these literally a day before I left. I couldn't leave them. Again, the deal I got them, I was just like, I would be crazy to leave these. And I had been wanting just like a simple little kitten heel that I could wear, you know, with my little Drees skirt, and also, you know, with jeans, with anything. Like I wanted something simple that, you know, it's gonna be sexy and sleek on the foot. And I feel like this shoe is exactly that. And I don't know why Bottega calls it the Blink heel. I couldn't find that information personally, but if you know, please leave it down in the comments. Blink. So expertly crafted from the softest lambskin, the Blink Mule comes in 2 styles, finished with a rubber injected sole. It features slim tubular straps artfully knotted for a dynamic silhouette, or a twisted intrecciato band that elegantly contours the foot. And I've definitely had seen the intrecciato version. I feel like all the influencers was wearing them, had them in all the freaking colors. And I definitely will say, like, with the intrecciato weave, obviously that's synonymous to Bottega and has proven to be like a non-trendy thing, as you still see people with like the vintage Jody wearing it today, the 20-year-old Jody, and they still bumping it today, and it's still a look, still a thing. So I definitely feel like maybe the intrecciato version is more classic than my version, the tubular version. And I say that to say too, I was talking to a footwear designer who was telling me that this tubular design won't be around for too much longer. So even with her saying that though, I was like, this shoe is just so simple in the silhouette. There's not a lot going on to the point where I personally think that it's still going to uphold through trends. Like, I feel like I'll still feel comfortable wearing this shoe, you know, 3 to 4 years down the line. However, I do think that, again, the Intrecciato version will probably be even more timeless than the tubular version. But I am just so happy with this shoe. And if you know anything about Bottega shoes, especially in the most recent years, they are extremely comfortable, okay? Some of them have like this tread or like bubble-like bottom on the back, which I feel like makes them even more comfortable, which these have. But yeah, y'all, so freaking sexy on the foot. I was watching the Barbie movie and I love the part when it was like, flat feet, ew, you have flat feet. So with this shoe, I just love that it kind of creates that little arch for you already, even if you don't have an arch, like it's giving you one, okay? So super obsessed with this. And then another pickup is going to be this very beautiful Missoni. And this is actually my first ever Missoni piece. And I want to say the first Missoni piece that has truly spoken to me. I remember I used to work at the Real, and it was a lady who would always buy and return Missoni. I mean, she would keep some, but then return, I guess, what she didn't truly love. So it was available to me to buy, but it was just nothing that really spoke to my heart and my gut. But this piece right here, and obviously the price spoke to me first, baby, because it was under $200. But yeah, I could not leave this Missoni for that price. And also, just beyond the price, I just think it is so freaking beautiful. I love the little crystals on it. And if you're unfamiliar with Missoni, Missoni is an Italian brand that was founded in 1953. And they are mostly known for their weave, how they manipulate I think the Rachel machine is what it's called. And basically with the machine, it creates like this flame-like thread. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I do believe Missoni kind of patented the way that they sew or like use that machine, because no other designer can like replicate this. But I don't know if you guys can see, maybe if you look like really close, but the thread is literally going up and down, like whoop, 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 whoop. So yeah, I say that to say Missoni is definitely like a brand that I feel like is very, very special and has an emphasis on craftsmanship. So I definitely appreciated it always from afar. But I have my first ever Missoni, and I think that it's obviously even more so special because it just sparkles. Yeah, I definitely am looking forward to wearing this again in the summertime with like a little tank top. But I actually didn't mind it with like the gray v-neck to like maybe make it more winter or fall like appropriate. But knowing me, I'll probably only wear this in the summertime because I'm a girly that runs cold and is very covered in the fall and winter months for the most part. But so the first store that I went to in Paris, or building rather, was this address, 81 Boulevard. And it was a really just old building. It had no heat in it, and to get into the area you had to ring the bell, and then like this big security guard person came to let you in, and then it was like a courtyard, and then you walk into the little building. And each level had different vendors. Like one vendor specialized in all like vintage Japanese, like really beautiful indigo dip dye pieces. Then you had another vendor that specialized in like all Italian designers. He was a huge fan of like Emporio Armani from like the 90s. And then it was another vendor, Dennis, who I really resonated with his selection, mainly because, you know, I love, you know, avant-garde designers, Comme des Garçons, you know, Margiela, Junia, which he had most of all of that, Helmut Lang, old Helmut Lang. And yeah, I was just like blown away by his selection. And also he was so intelligent and just so in the know when it came to like fashion. I was asking him like what were his thoughts on like new Margiela. He was like, I hate it. I was like, oh my gosh, that's funny. But yeah, I think that I definitely appreciated vintage more so. But after talking to him, I want to say like I can't go back. Like I don't own, I think, really any new Margiela besides like my tabbies. But definitely I have this urge now to just buy old Margiela as much as I can. So yeah, I went through his selection and I ended up picking up 2 pieces from him. One of them was actually a Martine Sitbon piece, and I am not gonna hold you, I have really never even heard of her prior, but obviously I did my little research on her and found that yes, she had her own line named after herself, Martine Sitbon, that I don't think really took off. But it was really cool. You could tell that she had an emphasis on, you know, quality. I think you saw like a lot of like fur pieces. But an interesting fact about her is in 1987, she became creative director at Chloe right after Karl Lagerfeld. And it's a lot of people's like favorite era of Chloe. So I thought that was really cool. But I feel like it's kind of a flex to say that I have a piece of her, you know, collection, something that she actually made that wasn't Chloe. I saw this little jacket and I love the silhouette. I didn't think that it would fit me as perfect as it did, but as you guys can see, like the sleeves are absolutely perfect on it. I actually love like the little peplum, like, you know, shoulder that it has, and also how it has like this deconstructed look to it with like the frayed like ends of the collar and ends of the sleeves. I think that it's a good mix of just like maybe like dainty and like a little bit rough. So and it's so funny because I was eyeing like this totem jacket right before I left for Paris, and something in me was like, don't buy it, like you don't know what you're gonna find in Paris. And this piece I love even more than the totem piece. I feel like it's even more special considering that I'll probably never see anyone in this freaking jacket. And it also does the same thing as a totem piece. So if I had bought that totem piece, I could not have justified buying this Martine Sitbon piece, because yeah, it's like whatever I would have did with that, I could do with this. But freaking obsessed with the like pockets, how they kind of like poof out a little bit, and obviously the silhouette, the clasp little closure, which I will say, like wearing it, the clasp kind of come undone sometimes, so that's a little bit annoying, but nonetheless, I still feel like this piece is so special. And then another piece that I picked up from Dennis is actually going to be a Martin Margiela piece from 07, you guys. And I saw it and I was like, oh my gosh, I freaking love how simple it is. Like, this is a piece that, again, if I wanted to, I could wear it every single day. And I actually had looked up line 4 because I don't be remembering all the lines. Shoes is what I own the most of from Martin Margiela, so I obviously know that 22 is for shoes. And you know, I think what is it, 1 is for women's wear, don't quote me. But yeah, I ended up looking up line 4 and I was like, wow, this is actually insane that this is exactly me. But yeah, line 4, the 4th label of women's clothes. It was first introduced for spring summer 2004 and complements line 1. The garments of 4 evoke timelessness. Its foundation is that of a personal approach to dress, fixed on a taste rather than on seasonal approach to the design or a particular age group. So when I saw timelessness, I was just like even more so feeling like this piece was for me, okay? It was just waiting there for me. And I also love with this piece that it has like that double zip, so I can kind of unzip it from the bottom and, you know, wear a little tank top underneath if I wanted to. But yeah, 100% wool, and it's in a size small. Hands down, my favorite Margiela piece that I now own in my wardrobe, and I will never ever get rid of it. Like, this is a piece that I'll never ever sell. I never even consider selling anything that I own, but this piece is just so classic. Like, oh, obsessed. But yeah, y'all, my 2 pickups from that little place, and I'll leave obviously the address linked down below in case you guys are in Paris and want to check it out. I would definitely recommend going to check it out, even if you're going from a admiring standpoint, just to see like the beautiful clothes that they carry. Like, 10 out of 10. And then I think that was the only shopping I did on that day. But then the next day I ended up going to another vintage shop that I found on TikTok, and I didn't see anything in that store. But then right around the corner was like this store I saw called Système Solaire Le Temple du Vintage, okay? And I was like, wait, look at all these freaking fur coats. And obviously I had never been in any store like that, which is why I was just so jaw-dropped. I had never seen so many like vintage furs like ever in a place. And I want to say I tried on more than half of the furs that they had there. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like it was a matter of like, how many do I want to buy? And I say that to say that a lot of the prices were just like really good. Like the 2 furs that I got, I paid under $400 for both of them, which is insane. Now, I will say I bought one mink, which I'm so obsessed with. So happy I have it. But I ended up buying a gray one that I had ended up exchanging, which they do not do when you buy in store. Is they have a sign saying that everything is final sale, which I didn't even see that sign. But even still, it's like if you're in store trying it on, just make sure you love it, okay? I think if you order online from this website though, like you are allowed to exchange or return, because you're ordering online, you're not able to try it in store. But the staff was just so nice and so honest. Like the guy that was helping me told me straight at the gate, like, with the gray coat that I ended up buying and taking home and seeing for myself that it was too short in the sleeve, he told me in store, like, I think it might be too short in the sleeve. But I was like, no, it's fine. I was wearing like a little long sleeve underneath. So I was like, no, it's fine. But I got back home and I was like, it's too short. So I went back and I was like, can I please exchange it? And long story short, they ended up letting me, but they was like, we've never done this before ever, but they let me exchange it for another piece. So I ended up getting this mink, which I absolutely love the freaking colors in like this reddish brown color. Obviously the silhouette is just so boxy. I feel like it's so good. And it allows me to, I feel like, wear it with more casual things, but also dress it up considering that it's a freaking fur coat. And this is a vintage fur coat, so obviously it's not going to be in the best condition. The lining is like totally ripped, but I'm like, whatever. And when it comes to fur, considering that, again, I try to be as ethical and sustainable as possible, so I would never go out and buy a brand new fur coat. So I'm happy that these are secondhand and I'm able to give them another life as opposed to them being like thrown out or something. So yeah, this is one that I got, and then I also got this fur coat here, which I believe is fox around the collar, and then the more texture part, which looks like a crushed velvet, is actually Persian lamb, sometimes referred to as astrakhan. And I actually looked up this style coat, and it was a big thing, I think, in the late 50s, early 60s, and it was referred to as the grandma coat. And this is the one that I actually exchanged, because they was like, you can only exchange from this particular vendor. And that's another thing about this shop, is they have different vendors that, you know, sell with them. So this particular vendor had this fur coat as well, so I was able to exchange. And which again, they don't do. So I want y'all being like, oh, Sierra said no. Okay, they made an exception. I was really nice, and I just want to say that if you do go to this place, make sure you love what you're getting. Okay, listen to the salespeople, because they are honest. And I may sell it, I don't know, I'm kind of on a verge. I haven't tried it on with my cornrows, because I feel like it is going to be a vibe with my cornrows. I do feel like the fur around the collar kind of competes with my afro, which I would want to wear this coat with all of my hairstyles. Either my fro competes with the fur, or the fur competes with my afro. I don't know. But nonetheless, I feel like I wanted to buy 2 fur coats because I don't have really many coats. My little Rick Owens coat, baby, I know she tired of me. I'm going on like my 5th or 4th winter with her, and it's like my warmest coat, so I feel like that's why I wear it the most. But I now have 2 fur coats that are just as warm as the freaking Rick Owens coat. I actually wore the mink out when I bought it, and it was so freaking warm. It was so cold in Paris, and literally I just felt like I had just the warmest little covering barrier over me, and definitely see why people wear furs, I ain't gonna lie. Now, I do know obviously that there's vintage furs out there, but I just feel like I always worried how they would age. And I feel like I have like a vegan leather top that was good for a good like 3 years, but then on that 4th year it started to like peel. And it's like, now what do I do with that piece? I can't wear it, it doesn't look good, so I can't recycle it. So I do feel like when it comes to like buying real leather and buying real fur, one of the perks is that it ages well over time, you know, or you can, you know, sell or whatever. But when it comes to like vegan fur, fake leather, it just never ends up looking good as years go on. Next up is going to be these 2 little tops that I got from this brand, Subdued, which it looks like a Forever 21 or like a, no, like an American Eagle or like Aeropostale type of a vibe. And what pulled me in was like this little crop shirt that they had in the like window. It was like, it said I love Paris, but it was a crop top, and I was like, oh my god, I need that especially. And when I went inside, I was like, oh, this is like really young looking. And when I read about it, Subdued is a brand for the loving, strong, independent teenager. So after reading that, I was like, oh, this may be a little bit young for me. But the tops that I got from this brand are very simple, and I absolutely love the boat neck little top that I got. I got it in navy, and I got one in black, which the black is dirty, so I didn't try it on the black. But yeah, I feel like the fit is just so cute. This is a store that I feel like is good for like little in-between little tank tops that you may need to like, you know, wear with your other pieces. I actually was asking a person like, oh my gosh, do you ship to the United States? And they told me no. But it looks like they do ship to the United States, because I went on their website. And I definitely feel like for the price point, like if I was a teenager, I would just be so happy to buy stuff that was so cute and like not super expensive. Because I feel like growing up, to me, Aeropostale and like Hollister, Abercrombie, I feel like those brands were still more expensive than this. But This brand right here is like even more cute, I feel like, than Aeropostale and all that, and more wearable because a lot of their pieces don't have like logos on them. But yeah, I ended up getting those little tops from there. And then from there, I ended up popping into a thrift shop, which I would say this thrift shop definitely reminds me of like a L Train Vintage or like a Beacon Closet in case you are living in New York. Yeah, I ended up purchasing 3 pieces from them. One of them was like this velvet skirt, and the flow of it was just so freaking beautiful. And it definitely reminded me of these Chloe pants that we sell at my work. I promise you, the Chloe shorts, rather, they have the same type of flow as my velvet skirt that I got for €10, like same quality. And I would definitely say that's why I see like people like Dennis or myself seek to buy the vintage more so than the designer that's out right now, because I think that ultimately, obviously, things are inspired by things from the past. So yeah, I tried on this skirt, and as you guys can see, fits perfectly, okay? I love the freaking flow of it. I feel like I could wear it out dancing, or just like with my Margiela like ballerina tabbies, and it's gonna be so cute and so chic looking and bring in obviously some texture. And I also picked up this little belt. It's like a calfskin or like pony hair style. And I always tell my clients like, oh, you should belt it. Whole time I never had a belt to belt things. And I now feel like this belt, considering that it doesn't have any like holes or anything, like literally you just put it through this hoop and you pull it as tight or as loose as you'd like. So I love the texture of it, and definitely gonna get some looks off. And then I also picked up these Levi's, which I was trying on with, I think, like the little crop top. And the whole time I think that these Levi's are fake. And that's because I don't have them here, but I'll probably insert it. But the care tag looked crazy. Like, also the like patch on the back does not look like a legit Levi patch. So that's a little alarming, but I paid €20 for them, and I do really, really love the wash of them. I feel like they're 100% cotton, and they look of quality at the end of the day. You know, so it is what it is. I'm definitely still gonna wear them. And then last but not least, I ended up popping in this store called Drees. And I walked by and I was like, oh, those look like Wheaties, but they don't look like they are Wheaties. Those look like Margielas, but I don't think those are Margielas. Anyway, I was so ignorant because I went in the shop and I kind of explained what I was thinking to the salesperson, and she was like, I'm so offended. Oh my gosh. She's like, no, sweetie. These shoes are like, a lot of them are handmade in Italy or Portugal, and we're doing it before those brands you just named. And I was like, oh, okay, gotcha. But yeah, I was definitely taken aback by the quality of the shoes in that shop. The first little shoe that I saw was like this derby by Office and Creative, which we have Office and Creative here in New York. Never went inside the store. I always would see people with the shoes on. I just feel like I never made it around to going. But these derbies were like a horse hide leather, you guys. Oh my God. Like when I tell you like a shoe that will age to perfection, like that was the shoe. And they was like $560 or euro. And I'm not gonna hold you, I probably would have considered buying them and them alone had they been in black. But they were in like this brownish reddish color, and I was like, I don't think that that color is going to correspond with really many of my clothes. But the salesperson, her and I was getting on, and she could just tell that I appreciated quality. So she was like, here, I'll allow you to try them on just for fun. And in case you're unfamiliar with Drees, Drees is a luxury shoe store in Paris that sells high quality fashionable shoes. And they have their own brand, which these shoes here I actually picked up from their own in-house brand, Drees. And as you can see, they feature like a little cap toe, which I freaking love, and the same type of textured leather in the back. And again, like I just look at this shoe and I just see that it's just going to age perfectly. I actually don't mind too that it's like a rubber sole. I feel like it's going to be more so durable than like, I don't know, a leather bottom. Because I feel like leather bottoms, people always say like, oh, you know, that's what you should aim to buy. But for me, like I don't really resole my shoes or like get the look. Yeah, I don't take them to the cobbler when I first get them, which is what you should do to get like the taps on them or whatever. And yeah, I don't know, I just feel like I don't really like the look of it, if I'm honest. Like I know that it's better for your shoes or whatever, but I just feel like it just looks a little bit too intentional. Like it looks like I'm just really trying to like save something that I really want to wear and add character to. So yeah, I actually don't mind the rubber sole. I feel like it's gonna be more like malleable to my foot. They look a little clown-like. I have my Our Legacy derbies, which I've definitely worn the heck in. I don't even know where they are right now. So I definitely kind of was wanting another derby style, and these are so perfect. Obsessed with them, and I actually got them in a size 38, which again, typically I'm like a 39, but I find that with well-made derbies, well-made boots, typically you will size down at least 1 or 2 sizes. So the 38 fits nice with a sock. It fits nice in case you are thinking about buying from this brand. And then another shoe that I picked up was from the brand Antonio Barbato, which is known to have a sophisticated, urban, and refined mood to their shoes, all handmade in Italy with the best quality fabrics and materials. So looking at these shoes, you definitely again see the quality of the leather, the graininess of the leather. Mainly what attracted me to them was like the lightness of them. Like I love how flat the bottom is. I feel like a literal ninja when I wear them. And I actually wore them like my first day back to work with a pair of black trousers. And unfortunately, like the black, like the dye, I guess, from my trousers kind of transferred to them. And I was like, oh my gosh, no, they're already looking a little bit beat up. But I will say it's that type of leather that it's gonna still look good even when it gets a little scuffs on them or a little dirt on them. But to my surprise, like I took a little cloth and water and I just wiped them and the dye came off. So I actually really like the fact that they can easily be cleaned. And I actually don't own anything like this shoe. I had been feeling like I needed like a white leather boot in my mix. And yeah, now I have one and I'm super excited to wear them forever and ever. So I'm gonna try to link them down below if they are still available. I want to say though that the lady told me that I had actually got like the last pair, but yeah, I'm gonna try to link them if I can. But yeah, y'all, that is everything that I got on my Paris trip. I am so excited with literally everything except for like the little fox fur coat. I might sell it, but still obsessed. But that's the only thing I'm a little bit like, I don't know about her. Also, let me know what you guys have purchased recently. I would love to know that as well. And I will see you guys in my next one. Again, more consistency is to be expected from Sierra Parker in 2025, being that I am marijuana free. I could not be more happy for myself, y'all. Like literally, I'm telling everybody like, oh, I'm 10 days sober off marijuana. Like I feel like such a flex every time I say it. But yeah, wish me well. I wish you guys well. And I will see you in my next one. Peace.